What's up, everybody? I got a cool one for you today. I'm going to be showing you how to do Bailey, Chlar, Alarico style modern techno. These guys are revolutionizing this sort of raw deep type of stuff. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do it. I've got the full template that you just heard in the intro. It's available at the top of the description on my website. Make sure to go grab that so you can follow along. And it's a really great template to build your own tracks with. There's a lot going on here that you can work with. Links at the top of the description. Once again, thanks for the support, everybody, and let's get started. Alright, so we're at 144 BPM. I definitely think the range for this stuff is like 135 to like 150 if you're trying to make like a really hectic track, right? And the first thing we got going on here is our kick. So this is not the hardest kick ever, right? As you can hear, I think with this style of techno, that's one thing that really sets it apart, is that it's not always just going to be trying to make that kick just smack you in the face insane, right? So what I got here is I've got this one, and then I've got a little overdrive. Here's without it. With it, you can hear it just brings a lot of click out of the kick, right? And then we're cutting a bit of sub out of the kick. This is definitely even like a bit hard of a kick for this style, I think. But in this case, I was trying to get that more raw, kind of like Chlar influence sort of sound. Then we got our bass line. So the bass line is made up of two parts. We got this drum rack, and then we have this little bass note from operator. Right, and you can just hear that kind of like jumps in there at the end. It kind of all becomes one thing, but it creates a really nice groove. So for the drum rack, what we're doing is we've got these two 909 toms. Just really in your face like that, right? I'm putting them through this really fast hybrid reverb. Like the decay and size are down. Side chaining and then low passing. And I've noticed you can actually have a little bit of stereo in the bass with this kind of stuff. Like if you listen to these tracks, that kind of like sound does actually have a little bit of it, so it's fine. And then the operator, it's really simple. It's just a saw wave with a low pass. Just really deep and a tiny bit of envelope so it has some punch. Side chaining, and then I'm cutting a little bit of sub on that. Then we got our main hi-hat. Now I noticed with these tracks, it's not like that big in-your-face 909 open. You know, you want it to just be a bit shorter and punchier like this. So I've just got this one. It's like more of a closed hi-hat. We've got this little wavetable chord. Right, it just hits there. This almost, you might not even notice that it's a chord when you first hear it. It's just playing on the MIDI. It's just C across 2 octaves, and it hits every 2 bars right in the middle to kind of punctuate the beat. Right, that's how a lot of this stuff works, is you'll have something that just hits once every 2 bars or so, but it kind of like just opens up the beat and gives it some punctuation, like I said. So for the sound on this one, it's basically just a sine wave. Like if you listen to it, it is just sine wave. I've set the amp envelope like that, and then a bit of resonator. And I have that on the B mode. It's on C, same note that we're playing. And then I have this dissonant chord because it would be like a minor chord. We have like a minor third here, and then we have 6 semitones. Normally a minor chord would be that, a fifth, but then you put this, and you get a bit more of like a weird kind of dissonant techno sort of thing. I've got a high pass, and then we're side chaining it. Then we just got this little shaker. You know, just playing 16th notes. Side chaining and high passing. I've got a bit of this groove on here, which is the same one I'm using for everything. Then we got this. So like a 909 ride, I'm high passing that and side chaining it, and we're high passing it pretty high. So this really just gives you like some blast of high end. Then we have this clap. Clap is just completely dry, and it's just playing this pattern. You can see I'm playing with the velocity there, so you kind of get a nice groove. I think the main thing with this is just how loud you turn it up. Like this, you know, again, the kick isn't always this huge, insane, loud thing. It's kind of more balanced. And then you can have stuff like this sitting on top of it. and it makes that groove really hit. Then we got this metallic percussion. This one's really simple. It's just playing a really repetitive pattern. You can see I've worked with the velocities there, and it's got that swing. And then I've actually just made it shorter and pitched it up a little bit with the sustain. And it's kind of like that thing that's just real steady going. If you take it out, it really adds to the groove, right? Then we got this. So this is another one of those sounds that's just going to come in like once every 2 bars. It seems like once every 2 bars is really like the standard for these kinds of sounds, right? And what it is it's this weird percussion sound which I reversed, and then I'm pitching it all across the keyboard. Like, you know, the standard pitch of this would be C3, and we're playing down here and here, so you can kind of get a lot of mileage out of it because it's like 2 different sounds, right? What I've done is I actually reversed it. You can see there you go, the R. That means I reversed it by just doing this reverse sample inside of the simpler. So it's already like this weird out there percussion, and then reversing it, you know, it just really creates like this cool background sound. Then there's a grain delay set like this, so you can hear it just kind of takes it off into the cosmos, sidechain, and then a high pass. And there we go. And the sidechain is really what makes something like this, because now it's going to fit really well under the beat. If you get rid of that, it's easy for it to just kind of end up like a bunch of random sounds, right? The sidechain is really holding it all together. Then we have some more hi-hats. So it's this one going steady, just 16ths with the groove. And then I have these other 2 kind of like bouncing off each other with a bunch of that swing on them as well. And it kind of just all comes together, and then we're sidechaining and high passing them. This is important. I noticed the hi-hats in this stuff are really going crazy, and it adds to a lot of the energy, right? Because a lot of the energy, I've said this before, is in the high end. You dance to the low end, but the energy and like the real like tension is in the high end. You can hear it right as soon as I turn this off, right? So then we got this little kind of loops. Just some live percussion that you kind of can't program, right? What I've done here is I've actually panned these. So you got one in the left ear and one in the right ear, and then they kind of talk to each other. And then they're being sidechained and high pass. This really fills out the beat nice, because I think that's another like signature with this stuff is a bit of live sounds in the right places. To contrast the really like steady electronic drums, right? We've also got these little bongos here. So I just got these kind of bouncing off of each other. And then those are panned as well. So it's just a lot of ear candy that's kind of like all over the stereo field. And helping to fill this in. We've got this little clap, which just hits. Like if I play it with the other clap, you can really hear what it's doing. They really work together. Right, so it's just kind of this like frantic, heavy clap sound, and it really adds a lot of energy and kind of like that tense sort of dark feeling. So this is a 909 claps from my Ultimate Modern 909 pack. And then I've got a really short reverb on it, right? The cadence size really low. It's like this plate convolution, super short, but it just has like a little bit, and that helps it to kind of differentiate it from the other one. It's like you got one that's really dry, and then these little reverb claps jumping in. Then we've just got a bit of distortion. Actually, here's without, and with, you can hear it brings out the reverb, and also again helps make it sound different from the other clap. And then we're just high passing it. Then I've got this little operator stab. So this is actually playing like a pretty dissonant thing. As you can see, it's like just kind of like chromatic, right? And then the C sharp, it's C, B, and then C sharp. And the C sharp is up an octave. So it just happens every bar right at the beginning. right? This one's made, like I said, with operator. It's kind of playing with that thing where you take the first oscillator and you do FM, but the first oscillator is up a few octaves. Normally people would do it where you put like the second one up, but when you put the first one up and then the second one really low, that's when you can really kind of lose like that more like straightforward sound and kind of create something a bit different, right? And just like stabby like this. I've also got that second one detuned a lot, and then there's the envelope is very plucky like that. There's just a little bit of this third oscillator, and then we're just high passing it and side chaining it. With these, you don't want too much delay or reverb. You want it to be really dry, because that's gonna, you know, all that delay and reverb is just gonna get in the way, and then you're gonna have other sounds that have a lot more reverb and delay. We've also got this little wavetable stab, which kind of talks to that other one. Right, so this is just playing C and C sharp, again, kind of like more dissonance. This is a really simple patch. It's just a saw wave, low pass filter with a punchy short envelope on it, and the amp envelope is short too. And then a bit of this phase sync unison, but not that much. So it's still like, you know, pretty on earth, not super detuned, but it just adds a cool texture. And that's why I really like wavetables. All those unison modes, you can get a lot of different sounds. Right, if I switch that to noise, then I get that. We got a bit of delay and a bit of reverb, but really short. So you kind of, that's another thing with this talking to the other one. It's like you have the really dry one, and then this has some space. And it really helps to differentiate them. I got a high pass, and then we're side chaining that to the kick. Then we got this little operator. So what this one's doing is, it's basically playing this MIDI. We're really playing with the note lengths, like having that last one be really long so you hear it more so. And what this one is it's operator, it's two oscillators. Again, this first one is up an octave from the second one. And we have the second one like this with the short sustain. What I'm doing is I have this shaper moving the decay. So you kind of get like through the bar, it's a half note. That's how you're getting like the difference in the different stats. If I turn that off, right, it's just the same thing. That's how you really get that like kind of some movement there. And also for the oscillator B, I've kind of drawn in my own waveform. So it's like a really nice, juicy FM sound. Then we got a little bit of grain delay to just make it weird. Like you can hear that kind of gives you like the ear candy. Really short reverb as well to kind of put it in a room. High pass, and then sidechain. Then we had these little vocal stabs. So I heard these in a lot of, especially Bailey's tracks, where it's just like, basically what they're doing is it's a vocal, like just kind of either breathing, like, you know, that kind of sound, or maybe you're saying some words. Like I think this one I did like, something, and then you pitch it down a lot. So you're kind of just getting this like weird alien deep voice. Even this one was like, right, and then I put it -5, so you're getting that. And then you use a bit of grain delay. And it just really takes it off into the stratosphere, right, and gives it some more texture. And then we're high passing it. And then when you put it in the mix, and it's like kind of talking with the other one, it just hits in the middle there. You get this cool kind of alien voice in the background. You don't want this to be too much, but the right amount of it really fills out the beat. Then we've got this little operator, which is kind of like a pad, but we're making it in a very interesting way. So if you listen to it without any effects, it's actually like this. Like you could even just play with this on its own, right? That sounds pretty cool for this kind of techno. But then what I've done is I took it and I reverbed it out, right? It's like, so it's this stab with operator, it's a sine wave, and then we've got another sine wave, and then another sine wave at different octaves, kind of creating that like metallic sort of stab. Plus a little bit of a low pass filter with an envelope. And then what I'm doing is I'm delaying it and reverbing it a ton. And then obviously very important, high pass and sidechain. And it creates this kind of dissonant pad. Like, these guys use these a lot, and if you hear it, you might just think it's like a pad, but I tried to do it like a normal pad where it's just long held out notes, and for some reason, you really get something different when you like create that rhythm, but then just let it get washed in the reverb. And it really sits nice on top of that mix. Then we've got a few loops. This is the last element of just, like I said, like some live stuff. Here's without it. And then when I bring it in, you can just hear that high end really sits well. All these are is like these tribal quote-unquote loops. You know, more like housey stuff. And then I'm high passing them and side chaining them a lot. So we're just getting the high end. And this is also like that hard groove, Ben Sims, kind of older 2000s techno influence as well. But it's just the last little bit of something to give it a bit of life. And yeah, a bit of energy in the high end. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know if you want to see more of this kind of techno in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, make sure to grab this template. It's quite a bit of stuff that you can use to make your own tracks. So definitely grab that. It'll help you take your tracks to the next level instantly as soon as you download. Thanks for the support, everybody. I love just giving you guys resources to hopefully help us all make better music. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.